Hi, this is Chris Haughey, and I'm going to do a little quick video on how to do snowman eyes. I have a lot of people tell me that they really like the way the eyes look. I do not spend a lot of time. It's very simple, and I'd like to share that with you. This is just a little face that I have painted on a blue background. I used bleached sand. It's not quite white. It's easy to highlight with white, but it does give you a little bit of color for the snowman. I'm going to start out, I put out just a little puddle of soft black. I'm going to use the handle end of my brush, and to get different size eyes you can use different size brushes. What I'm going to do is just dot into the puddle of paint. I'm going to press down and pull up. And what that does, it gives you a little pear shape. Now what I want to do is I'll wipe the end of my brush off so that there is no paint on the handle. I'll dip again, I'll dot and drag up. Now if you wipe your handle, clean it off after each one, the eyes should be the same size. If you look at your eyes and they're kind of domed with a lot of paint, you can remove some of that paint very easily. There again, you need to wipe the handle of the brush off. I'm going to put it back into the eye very carefully, lift off some of that excess paint, and just keep wiping it on a paper towel until that dome is flattened out. It's going to be a lot quicker to dry, and you won't have any dimension in the eyes when it is a finished project. Now, this needs to dry for just a second. I'm going to whip out my little hair dryer. Speed this up. And when you use a hair dryer, make sure you don't overheat your paint. If the paint is too hot, it will crack on you. Now I'm going to put just a little bit of shading in the eyes, a little bit of highlight. This is Gray Sky. I've got my 1/8 inch angle. I'm just going to load the tip of it with just a little bit of Gray Sky. We have a little eye, we just need a little bit of paint. And I like to blend it out on my palette just a little bit. We don't want to go too overboard with this. And I'm going to have to scoot this out of the way so I usually start at the bottom and just kind of float that up. And do the same thing on the other eye. Very little bit of paint on, or very little bit of water on the brush. Clean that off. That is all we need for the eye. Next we're going to do eyelashes. And I like to use a little tiny liner. I do thin my paint out quite a bit. I want it inky, I don't want it drippy. And you can always kind of check your lines. If it's that fat, it's way too much paint on your brush. You want to make sure you load your brush up. You want to still see, after your brush is loaded, the shape of the liner. This is an 18-aught script liner. I like this brush because it's long enough that I can get quite a bit of paint without having to reload. And let me check, there we go. Scoot this out of the way. I'm going to do just a couple little eyelashes. I like to use black because, let me scoot this around, the black will show up pretty good. It's just enough difference in color from the eye that it will give a little more interest. And then we'll pull down some little tiny eyebrows. And if your paint starts to drag, it's time to reload. Okay, there we have our eyebrows. Now to finish up, a little bit of warm white or cool white or titanium white, a stylus. Now if you want, we're going to add a little bit of sparkle in the top left of the eye. My light comes from the top left, so that's where the highlight is going to be. If you want a smaller dot, just thin your paint down a little bit with water and you'll get a much smaller dot. We're going to just lightly add a little bit of sparkle in each eye. And that is the eyes, as easy as 1, 2, 3.